Very Don, when I see the information of investor relations of Japanese listing companies, I realize there's so many Japanese companies that have been bleeding red ink without taking a drastic measure against this situation, even for consecutive fiscal years. So having said that the world is in coronavirus pandemic situation and the world economy has not been really good, I don't know why Japanese top executives, including CEO of a listing company that caused companies to revise downwards because of extreme poor business performance for a long time, can keep staying in the same position of a company. So I think the authority to manage personnel affairs of a company's executives and CEO has to be left to shareholders of a company. But I'm curious about what is actually decided in the general meeting of shareholders in terms of executives' responsibility for poor business performance there. So possibly no Japanese shareholder have a question to the situation where the same CEO who brought the poor business performance assumes the same position. I don't understand. Especially listing companies in the restaurant and hotel industry have a great amount of deficit because of coronavirus pandemic. And the vast majority of deficit listing companies force them to revise downwards because of poor business performance. So no companies suffer a deficit for aggressive investment for business expansion at this time. So if the reason of company's deficit stems from past factors because of executive fault, it is obvious to replace the management team of a headquarter of a company in order to restore company structure and company's system to be able to get back to this healthy condition of a company. So unless CEO who brought poor business performance keeps staying in the same position of a company, he will let the company keep bleeding the red ink with no sense of crisis, I think. So I don't know why Japan can make that happen. So usually companies with great deficits tend to make the business scale shrink down and cut off money losing division and money losing department drastically to lower the percentage of a deficit that occupies the total business achievement of a company, right? So, but Japanese listing companies that are running a lot of restaurants around Japan don't take such a measure against this situation. It's like looking this really bad situation without doing anything. So, and business performance going worse and worse. And these companies are taking ineffective measure that gives a bad influence on productivity of workers in order to save deficits. It's like reducing salary of workers and reducing the number of people without reducing the number of restaurants. So although human resources are very important factor, very important business resources related to external companies' evaluation, which have a possibility to extend revenue depending on how they can manage people working there. So restaurants and hotels are supported by people basically, and workers are earning money from customers in this industry. Right? So managers have to cherish workers all the time. So inserting, surgical knife strike to workers' treatment without considering companies' circumstance rationally doesn't make sense anyway. So if reducing salaries of workers and if reducing salary workers, many workers quit the job and the company will find it really difficult to get labor force from the labor markets next time. So workers' motivation goes easily down, and the amount of assignments per person will get bigger and bigger, and workers have no mental leeway, and trivial conflict and quarrel among workers constantly happen in the workplace. So harassment and abuse from boss to subordinates are rampant around the workplace. So working environment continues to get worse and worse. So fortunately, only the quality of the product provided the customers can be preserved at high level thanks to Japanese people's faithful personality. But this is the present condition of Japanese typical business scene that we can oftentimes seen in Japan. So I think Japan has no bright future unless not making CEO and executives of listing companies who try not to rock the boat and take no responsibility for business performance of a company stand on pitch.